Due to the Central Bank of Nigeria's struggles to meet demand from businesses and individuals for dollars due to declining reserves and dollar inflows, the Nigerian Naira sank to new lows on the black market. According to Abubakar Mohammed, CEO of Forward Marketing Bureau D'Change Limited, which gathered information on the black market in Lagos, the country's commercial center, the local currency declined to 1,030 Naira per dollar on Wednesday from 1,015 the other day before. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins me now for more on this. Good morning to you, Mr. Chika. It's good to have you on the show.
Abby, how are you today?
Very well, thanks. And yourself? Good. We have a number of things to go through.
Quite a number.
A lot. I don't even know where to start, but I think we should start with Nigeria's oil production improving in September.
Well, I mean, I've seen the report, but like I've said several times in this program also, a lot of times I usually wait for the OPEC report. Yeah. Because you always see there's a gap between what OPEC said Nigeria has produced and what the NNPC officials or any PLC officials, put out there. Because I think today is October 12th, I believe. Yeah. The OPEC report for September will come out today, but that for the one for August showed that we'll produce about 1.1 million barrels, which is lower than what the NEPLC has been pushing out. But our sing-song on this program, even yesterday, was again that this is our blood, this is our commonwealth. Yesterday, we took the program where the senators set up about 5 committees to find out what's happening. Indeed, one senator who comes from that area said that if a security officer is put redeployed to that oil area, and then within 2 weeks he buys a new car. He speaks volumes about what is happening there, and they have been accused of collusion between the security agencies, the local militias, the chiefs and citizens of the area, and other oil company staff. So it's a common word, as I said before, and I believe that the country. The president should throw the full weight of the law and everything that we have to make sure that we rescue this for our country. Yeah, well, as the report you put down during your rundown, it's still below our OPEC quota, so substantially below that. And when oil sneezes, Nigeria catches cold. All the struggle we have about, the other story that you have about $1 being 1,000, whatever, it's because of the fact that oil, which is a major source of foreign exchange, also is not performing. And so that is that. Get it right with oil, and a lot of the sicknesses that we have in the Nigerian economy, will disappear, overnight.
That's such an important point because, of course, there's a direct interaction between our production levels and the foreign exchange market. Mm-hmm. Let's look into your crystal ball here. What do you see in terms of the future, in terms of that trajectory? Are we going to be able to make it?
Foreign exchange?
Absolutely.
Why do you guys always ask me this question?
We want to know. Tell us.
You see, the first thing is this, that to the proponents, for a lot of people who were pushing, including me at the time, for the merger of all the markets, FS markets in Nigeria, I do recall that somebody senior in Central Bank then told me that, see, Chika, if you don't have a supply plug at the end, once you move the official rate up, the black market rate will always keep running away, unless you have a supply plug at the end, to block that. And that was what has happened. The fact that we don't have a supply plug at the end, if you succeeded, everybody's claiming for us, IMF, everybody's claiming for us, which is accepted, just have one rate now for the government side, but the issue is the parallel market rate is running away. So whereas government rate is about, CBN rate is about 750, 760, you see the black market where it is. Differential and premium now is almost about 300, which is substantial, very, very substantial. So ask me, I keep saying, get our oil production right, and our most of our sicknesses will disappear. Push our volume, so you said it already, that we're still operating below the OPEC quota. Oil, God has blessed us again. Prices are moving towards 100. You don't have 100 yet. So there's an opportunity to maximize, revenues from the oil. And that's what God has blessed us. Let the production push up, and all the impediments, towards production should be reduced and eliminated. It ties into the other story you have about Seplat.
Yeah. And
the mobile transaction being approved by the NUPLC.
Yeah.
Again, the NUPLC people have come out and said that it's not regulatory, that it's commercial. But the issue is that this transaction is in abeyance. And this country that is, yearning for investment, you see investment that is there, that is waiting to come in, and it's being held down by whatever reason, for the last 6 months or so, getting to 1 year now. And so I think we are the people who are desperate in the country. We should actually reach out there to try to resolve the issues holding on the transaction. We know that NNPC has a right of first refusal, and they have been accused, I don't know whether fairly or unfairly, of the grab mentality. Every asset is available because they had the right of first refusal. They just go and grabbed it, and and were interested. But again, what have they done with a basket of assets they have? They're not to optimize them. There was a report that came out the other day about how many wells that didn't produce at all throughout the whole year. And these are under the moment of MPDC, NPLC, NNPC. So those are the issues. There are things we need to do in this industry, oil and gas industry. And I hope the president is looking at them to make sure that the bottlenecks are eliminated and make sure that the capital in the downstream sector of the industry, the fossil fuel sector of the industry, are very scarce worldwide now. And so anybody who is trying to buy an asset, they encourage them not put impediments on their way,
right,
to make sure those things happen.
And I like that term, grab mentality. I've never heard that before. That's a very interesting one. But like you said, of course, quite a number of moving parts, but what needs to be done is known. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of getting to it. Right, let's move on and look at the IMF calling on the federal government to do away with any form of CBN funding of the budget. What do we make of that? Well,
I mean, what's happened in the past is the fact that the CBN window, the Ways and Means, we recognize it was put in place to address the working capital needs of the government. Just like any company, the theory or it says this, that we know that day to day there may be gaps between the times you need money and when you receive your revenues coming. And those times, you can go to your banker of last resort, which in this case is Central Bank, to get overdrafts or these Ways and Means. Subject to the Ways and Means not being more than 5% of your revenues for the previous year, because you need to clean it up, okay, before even the next year. So whatever you took in 2022, you must clean it up before you take for 2023. Now, what has happened is that the Nigerian was a basket case. And so went out there. At the end of the day, almost 24 trillion was printed money. But so what the Ways and Means, does to the economy is unplanned. And it really comes into the money circulation equation. So as you're managing inflation, it's like you have a bucket, a bag, a drum, you're putting in water, and then somewhere at the bottom you also have a hole there that you put intentionally. So you're managing inflation up there formally, but informally you're fueling it with these Ways and Means. So it doesn't come into the organized flow of money for the economy. So but see, why I'm saying so is that we already know the government needs support to run its budget. Our government has been running deficit budget. So it requires support to run that. And the IMF is saying that support required to fund your deficit should not come from printing money, which is Ways and Means. You should formalize it to go and look for proper bonds and other ways, other structural borrowing to enable you fund your budget. In that way, you can plan it better and calculate the impact on inflation. Inflation in Nigeria now, normal headline inflation is about 25%. Food inflation is almost about 30%. Everybody now is feeling the pinch, So that's what they're saying, that. But the government is saying that, yes, they want to do that, but they don't want to get into, what they want to focus on now is non-debt funding to enable them, run the budget. Right. Because we have reached here already in our budget borrowing levels. When we're using almost 80, 85%, depending on how you calculate it, or 90%, or the revenues to service the loans. So what remains again for us now to fund the economy?
Yeah, we're certainly choking, and sustainability becomes key in this kind of conversation, which is what you've tried to explain there. Very key. Well, of course, still on the IMF, which has been very vocal this week. You know, the IMF has a lot to say. Of course, we've had a warning that banks facing credit risk could also, you know, have challenges with funding.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is that, remember what has been happening, the sub-Saharan Africa especially, including Nigeria, have been, you know, burdened with what? High inflation. And then when you have high inflation, even Nigeria's own has been accentuated with the devaluation problem, issues we have in a country. So suddenly you have a customer who was owing $1 million before, which was maybe 460 million naira. That same $1 million now is about 900 million naira. The company's revenues have not increased. The sales have not increased. They're not able to pass on prices to increase prices. So what happens is that their margins are what? Dwindling. And when the margins of companies are dwindling, or the borrowers are dwindling, the counterpoint is what? They won't be able to service the loans. So as inflation is increasing, it wipes away the earning power of citizens. And those who have borrowed, one, they will be able to purchase goods from companies. To those who have even borrowed personally, won't be able to service those loans. And that's basically what the IMF is talking about. That it can put banks in problems. And the other thing that happens immediately is because of what? When bad loans occur, what is hit is what? The bank's capital. The bank's capital, that's what is hit. And so when the bank's capitals are hit, they're required to recapitalize. And that's how the IMF had dragged the analysis to that end.
Right. It's such a pity we don't have a lot of time, because I was going to ask you about hedge funds and pension funds as well, which could be affected. But we don't have. We will have to continue that conversation.
Thank you,
Our Vice Business Analyst, Chika Mbonu, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Abia, as always.
All right.